Welcome back to the Fowler Event Center. Lopes dropped this one 85-71. We're joined by the head coach, Bryce Drew. And, Coach, overall, just your thoughts start to finish. Obviously disappointed, but your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, obviously disappointed. We should have played much better than what we did. And, I think that's the game of the year for them. Riley was fantastic. Coleman was terrific. They played really, really well.
What do you feel got away from you most in that first half when you have the turnovers and the offensive rebound issues for CBU?
Yeah, the physicality. I thought they were more physical than us in the first half. They kind of set a tone, and how the game was being called, it kind of let a tone get set one way. We made a couple nice runs in the first half, and then second half just never really put together a run, never really put together a solid stretch of 4 minutes of good basketball on both ends. And it all starts on defense. We've talked about that, and defensively, 47 the first half is not good defense, and accountability amongst the team needs to be much better on the defensive end. That's where it all started.
Coach, when you see this happen, and obviously you took some time out, you got the technical foul, you look like you're trying to do some things to kind of fire some guys up. Are you kind of just looking for maybe one guy to throw a spark, or is it a team thing? What do you try to do to fix this?
On the road, mentally tough, you have to be, and ultimately really connected and together. And so I didn't think we were at our best in those two areas today. We were good on our last road trip. This one, we weren't. Hopefully next week we got to be more connected with each other on the court. We have to be more hungry together as a group on the court, and we have to be mentally tougher, as a group on the court.
When you say more connected, is it just communication? Is it? I mean, what goes into that being more connected?
Yeah, we got a lot of guys that come out of the game, they don't want to come out, but they're not helping us on the court to win when they're out there. We got guys that are hungry on offense, but they're not hungry on defense.
Gotcha.
And so, last 6 games we kind of destroyed that bug, and it crept back in today into our team, and you see what it looks like when you're not ultimately connected, you're not ultimately mentally tough, on the court. And so, credit them for playing as well as they did, but also we could have done some things on our end to be better.
It seemed like those two factors were working against you when you have those characteristics you're talking about and you're playing a desperate team. They were embarrassed by their Thursday loss, and to your point, they're putting everything into this game to turn around their season.
Yeah, they prep for us all week. It's a compliment to our guys. We're getting the Kansas effect. We're getting the Gonzaga effect. We're getting teams that, take their best shot and play their best game against us. But how we have to respond is much better than how we did tonight. We have to raise our game, up a whole nother level, against those opponents. And so, tonight we didn't do that. They hit us first. We didn't hit them first. And, free throw shooting 12 for 23, 22 turnovers. I don't know if you're going to win any game at home or on the road when you shoot 50% from the line and have 22 turnovers. And most of those turnovers unforced, us just giving them the ball or throwing the ball directly to them and not us.
I know the fans watching, listening, for us too, it had to be for you, the frustration of just not being able to grab those balls bouncing around. Is that just lack of focus? You can work on it, right? You guys work on rebounding with the pads, everything, and then all of a sudden, boom, these balls are just dropping through hands.
Yeah, the rebounding and then, the turnovers. We just had too many careless turnovers, and, you take our 3 starting perimeter players, and, they were 7 for 28 from the field. Again, really hard to win. Credit Jacoby. He was really sick. He actually didn't ride our team bus over, and we didn't know if he was going to play till about 10 minutes before the game, and he said he would try to play. And so, he was a half version of himself today, but credit him for, battling through, being under the weather and helping us in patches in this game.
Certainly some things they had to overcome, too. They get Daniels and Coleman in foul trouble. Musa gets hurt in the first half. You get it down to 6 at halftime, but then those first few possessions of the second half seemed to reset that tone because you couldn't get a shot up for the first 4 or 5 possessions.
Yeah, turnovers, not strong with the ball, not quick pickups. Got guys with their head down trying to get to the rim instead of finding their open teammates. We had a lot of that tonight. We haven't had that the last 6 games. And, it's just something we got to perpetually talk about, perpetually show, because we're so much better basketball team when our eyes are up and when we move the ball and we take better shots. And tonight, unfortunately, at times we did it, but not near enough like we've done, the last 6 games.
Not sure when the last time you've been ejected was. I don't know if you remember, but what is that the frustration? Are you trying to send a message to your own team, the refs?
Yeah, I don't think it was frustration. I have a play in everything I'm doing out there. By rule, I don't understand the first technical because they didn't give it to me and I called timeout. And after I called timeout, then he gave me a technical. That one, by rule, I'm just curious on that one. But again, I've been a head coach for 13 years. This is the first game I've been kicked out. There was a reason I wanted to, and that's pretty self-explanatory, I think, that answer on my feelings on how it was.
Well, hey, Coach, thanks for the time. Obviously not the effort and the result you wanted, but got to regroup quickly because that's geographically a long Texas trip down to Stephenville and up to UTA. Both those teams are going to be hungry too because Stephenville, Tarleton coming off a pretty bad loss at Utah Valley, and UTA had that game won against Seattle U, and Christopoulos hit a 3 at the buzzer to beat them, so they're going to be unhappy as well.
Yeah, everyone's going to play their best against us, so we got to raise our level or the outcome aren't going to be pleasant for us. So hopefully we'll come out next week and we'll be mentally tougher. We'll be more connected, and we'll play with more urgency to want to win and not just play hard and be one-sided team.
Hey, Coach, thanks for the time. We'll see you in Texas.
Thank you.